everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. So I'm pretty excited to do this video. I mean, you guys read the title. You saw the thumbnail. You might be wondering, Mark, why are you so excited to do this video? Well, because I actually have physical examples of 2 of the 3 calibers that I am referring to. Now, you guys might be wondering, well, why couldn't you get the 3rd? I'll go into that in a little bit. Now, I also actually have examples of their more popular counterpart, which that's pretty nice. So we're gonna get started right off with 22 short. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, what is a 22 short? Especially if you're new to firearms, you really don't know what 22 short is. 22 short is exactly what it sounds like, a shorter 22. Here is a 22 LR, which is your typical 22 round versus your 22 short. Now, 22 short, while not being super expensive to my knowledge, it's just not very easy to find. And I'm sure there are a good number of firearms that, are made in, chambered in 22. I'm sure there are a good number of firearms that are chambered in 22 short. That's not the argument I'm making here. It's more so about the availability of the ammunition, and it's just, from my gathering, it's almost non-existent. I mean, I'm sure you can go online, find it. Yeah, I'm not denying that. However, in the majority of gun stores you go to, you're not going to find anybody selling 22 short. But I mean, it is a little interesting, at least, to, see the difference between the two. Again, 22 LR, 22 short. I think it's kind of funny because, whenever we're talking about 22 LR on the channel, we always refer to it like, oh yeah, such a small round, whatever. And then 22 short is right here, just like, hey, this guy's a giant compared to me. You know what I mean? So 22 short, I definitely would argue, is a dead caliber. Now, does this mean no one on the planet uses it? No, that would just be a falsehood. However, I think we can make the argument here fairly that the availability of 22 short is just, it's not there. It's not there. And I'm sure because I've said that, now some guy is going to come on here, comment, yeah, my local gun store actually has a ton of 22 short. They always have it. They've never ran out of it. Every time they even get close to running out, boom, they get another 100,000 rounds in. I don't know, but I just feel like I'm going to get somebody commenting that. But next one, and for this next one, I was even nice enough to go out of my way to have matching brands as well. The 45 GAP round. 45 GAP. Some of you guys might not have heard of this round before ever. You guys might have heard of a 45 ACP, which is what this is right here. 45 GAP, 45 ACP. It basically is just a short 45. That's it. That's it. Some of you guys might be wondering, well, what does GAP stand for then? We know ACP stands for automatic Colt pistol. What does GAP stand for? Now, if I'm not mistaken, because this is a caliber that was, or at least if I'm not mistaken on this as well, I don't know the full history of it. The 45 GAP is a round that only Glock has used. It's a caliber that pretty much they've created. I'm using that term loosely. But GAP, if I'm not mistaken, stands for Glock Automatic Pistol. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I thought it was a little odd considering that Glock has models that shoot 45 ACP. I wonder why they wanted to go out of their way to create a shorter 45 caliber bullet, or caliber cartridge, at least 45 caliber cartridge. I mean, the only thing I could think of is maybe to have less recoil while still shooting a 45 caliber round. But I don't see too much of a benefit in that because it's not like the 45 ACP is so just unmanageable. It's nothing like that. But this is one of the ones I was more excited to talk about in particular because not only am I saying it's dead, but Glock is also saying that it is a dead caliber. How can I say that they are saying that? Well, Glock has announced that they are discontinuing all 45 GAP models that they are making. All of them are getting discontinued. They are not going to be making any more ever again. And who knows, maybe that'll change. Maybe they'll make some changes within the company and they'll decide to bring them back. Maybe they'll push harder for 45 GAP. I don't know. But as far as the foreseeable future goes, it's gone. They're gone pretty much forever. So not only am I saying it's a dead caliber, even Glock is. Sorry, guys, that's just the truth here. And then last but not least, we have the 50 GI caliber. Now, some of you guys might be wondering what GI stands for. The GI actually stands for Gun Crafter Industries, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the company that created the caliber. And also, if I'm not mistaken, they created it for a specific 1911 that they have, or a specific 1911 variant that they produce and sell. And please, guys, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Now, something interesting about the 50 GI caliber is that they make, or at least about Guncrafter Industries with the 50 GI caliber, is that Guncrafter Industries also makes, if I'm not mistaken here, conversion kits for the Glock 20, the Glock 21, the Glock 40, and the Glock 41, so it can shoot 50 GI, which I thought that was very interesting to say the least. That is the one caliber here that I actually don't have a physical example of, and from my knowledge, I only know of 3 firearms that are chambered in this caliber. So while, yeah, it's not exactly like it's non-existent, it's pretty much a dead caliber. I don't know about too many firearms that are chambered in 50 GI. And I mean, sure, I'm sure Guncrafter Industries was like, hey, we want a 1911 that shoots a 50 caliber bullet. That's probably why they did it. I'm sure they think that the 50 GI round is great. And, oh, we developed this new great 50 caliber bullet, but we really didn't need it. And I'm sure, as you guys can see, and by all means, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, I only know about 3 firearms that are chambered in this caliber. If that doesn't say enough that it is a dead caliber, to say the least, I really don't know what will. But with that being said, I do think that about wraps it up for this video. I don't want to keep going in circles here. However, I do think at least with the 22 short and the 45 GAP, I think it was very interesting that I was able to have physical examples to show you guys. But with that being said, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all in. Whether or not you agree with me about my thoughts on these 3 calibers, again, the 45 GAP, the 22 short, the 50 GI, all of them, as far as I'm concerned, and even as far as some of the manufacturers themselves are concerned, are dead calibers. Go ahead and comment your thoughts down below. Make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.